Hi. Alright, so in my first two videos I kind of gave you an idea of some of the nutritional stuff I might be focusing on as a vegan. But in this video I just kind of want to talk about the type of goals the training will be focused towards, because there's a lot of different ways to train, and it's not like there's a right and a wrong way. It's more like a right and a wrong way for what you specifically are trying to attain. So, like, some people have an extreme appreciation for muscular endurance. They want to be able to go and go and go, so they're going to train accordingly to those goals. A lot of people care about their appearance more than they care about anything else, so they're going to train in such a way for body shaping and building up everything so that it's aesthetically pleasing. And then some people want to be really, really huge, so they become bodybuilders and just put on tons of mass and then try to cut enough that it all looks good and symmetrical, and you can clearly see all the definition between the separate muscles. My personal like training has been where health is number one and strength is number two. And it's really, really easy to get greedy on strength. And so I don't know that I always succeeded in keeping health as number one, but that was always the goal and the intent. But to get strong, you have to be really, really intense. And obviously, if you're injured, you're not strong. You're going backwards instead of forwards. So it's craziness. It's like you got to be really intense and push yourself super, super hard to get anywhere close to your potential. But if you go too crazy and too nuts, you end up wrecking stuff, and then it doesn't really coincide with being stronger or being healthy, and so that's no good. So I'm older now. I'm 40 years old, and I became a martial artist about 8 years ago. I mean, I did karate and stuff when I was a kid, but about 8 years ago I found some really, really good sifus who taught really good kung fu and self-defense. And I knew when I started kung fu that I wouldn't be putting the same kind of intensity into my strength training as I did previously, and I was okay with that. The martial arts have always been something I'm interested in. That's why I started karate when I was a little kid. But once it was a little bit before I started martial arts, it would randomly call to me from time to time, and I'd try to do something about it, but I never found anything worth my time. And one day I was in Borders, and I just went to the martial arts section, and I'm like, what on earth am I going to choose out all these books? There's so many books. How do I know which ones are good and which aren't? And I thought, well, Bruce Lee must be famous for a reason. So I got a couple of his books that looked good, and man, I just loved them. And so then I went to the library and I checked out every single book on Bruce Lee that they had in the system, and I read them all, and I loved them. And it really, really got the hunger for the martial arts again. And so when I found these really great sifus, I was so happy. And I knew that this was going to be my number one passion, and that strength was going to drop down to number two. So I don't have the same kind of intensity and insanity I had when I was younger. But I did go through that at one point, and I know about it firsthand. So if you have questions of that nature, or you're kind of headed that direction, I could still probably speak from experience and be helpful to you. And then to people who are like me and health is their number one goal, I can help you to be as strong as you can while keeping health as your number one priority. We can make it so that you're a healthy human being with great organs and great blood circulation and full deep breaths, but also strong muscles that are capable of making you do more in your life. It's fun. The whole point of strength training isn't to move a big weight in the gym, it's to make you have pragmatic real world strength that you can use in everyday life. So that's where I was always focused. So that's what this channel is going to be like training wise. And then of course I'll be focusing on nutrition as well, because you know, when you're an intense athlete that pushes yourself really hard, you don't have the same kind of training requirements as maybe someone that just spends their time reading and having deep conversations with people they love, and a lot of other positive ways to spend their time, but it definitely doesn't burn the same amount of calories or require the same amount of nutrition and stuff. So I'm going to kind of speak about things I've discovered in my journey. I haven't been doing it very long. I still have some to fall back on the times earlier in my life when I tried to go vegetarian. This is the first time I've gone full vegan. And it's funny because it's just like when you're reading Patrick's book, this one right here. Sorry I disappeared, but he talked about how when he went vegetarian he got all weak and felt miserable, and he was like, well, I guess this is the price I'm going to pay for following my beliefs. And then finally it was just too much and he broke down and he went back to eating meat, and then he couldn't keep with it. The calling was too strong. His love for animals was too strong. His compassion was too strong. So he ended up just going full vegan. And when that happened, he felt a lot better. And he actually got better than he was before. And it's kind of the experience I'm having. Like I said, I haven't been vegan very long, but when I went vegetarian, I did get weaker. I got a lot weaker, and it was really frustrating because I realize I'm older, and I realize it's not my number one priority, and I know things change. You can't keep the trophies of youth forever, but it's always been a really, really fun aspect of my life to be strong, and it was so frustrating to lose so much strength so quick, especially when you thought you were switching to something healthy and you're thinking, now I have like first-hand energy, and these are plants that were using photosynthesis to directly store energy from the sun. You would think it would help me be better, not make me worse, but it's not like that when I went full vegan. It's like I feel good, I feel more healthy, and I didn't lose a ton of strength. I lost a little bit, but I'm starting to gain it back, and because I'm older and I'm not training the way I wasn't as strong anyway, even when I was eating meat. So I think I'm pretty much where I would have been anyway, except I feel healthier. So anyways, just letting you know kind of the type of training that I'm super familiar with and that I could help you with if you're interested in that type of stuff. So that's all I was. A quick little summary of what I may have to offer you.